Hi, I'm Chancellor Holden Thorp, and I'm here with Tony and Emmy Award-winning actor David Hyde Pierce and television writer and producer Brian Hargrove. Most people will recognize David from his role as Niles on the hit television show Frasier. He has appeared in movies and on stage as well, most memorably for Monty Python fans in the musical Spamalot. The executive producer, writer, and composer of the television series Titus, Brian has worked on a number of shows including Wanda at Large, Holding the Baby, and Caroline in the City. Brian is a Carolina alum and a North Carolina native. David and Brian, welcome.
Thanks. Thank you.
It's great to have you here, and a lot of students who are interested in the arts will be watching this, so maybe each of you could tell us how your experiences, David at Yale and Brian at Carolina, how did those help you in your career in the arts?
It formed the basis of everything I've done since then. It was kind of a different place back then in that it seems less organized than it is now. But we did so many plays and so many different kinds of theater, mostly black box theater, just in a room that's black and you do anything. I still remember those days as crystal clear ideas. As a matter of fact, and I know you're going to ask us later what we're up to, but I've written a musical, and in my mind it happens in that black box that I was first in many years ago in Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm. I had I wasn't down Heroes up above the Mason-Dixon line, but I had a kind of
He constantly says they won. I don't know what that means.
Had a similar kind of experience in college, but also when I was in college, there was a theater festival up in Williamstown, Massachusetts, and Williams is also a college town. And that's where I had a couple of summers of working, having the experience that I think you had here, which is, especially with PlayMakers, which is that combination of being in a school environment where people sort of study and take the theater or the arts seriously as a thing to explore, and you also have the exposure to a real professional theater company. And so you get to work with actual professionals who are in the business, get a sense of what it's like to not just study it, but really go out and do it. And I think for both of us, that gave us so much grounding for all the things that we've done. And we've done a variety. When we met, which was 28 years ago, we were both actors. Brian was a very successful actor. Then we went on, we were based in the theater. I went on to a television acting career for a long time. Brian went on to write for television. And now I'm back in the theater. As he says, he's written a musical. And all of that stuff, as diverse as it is, I think the roots of that are in the diversity of that education that we got.
It's the general education. I mean, I came here to act, but I got a degree in dramatic art. And so I was exposed to all the other different aspects of drama. And I remember I had a teacher, Ann Sheps, who had a meeting with me, and she said, well, Tom Haas was running the department at the time, and he said, Tom and I have talked, and we said, we don't know what you'll be doing, but we know that you will be having a career in the theater. And of course, I was at the time going, what do you mean? I'm going to be an actor. And it never even occurred to me that there would be, when I came here, that there would be something else that I could do. And I think the exposure to that, and we had directors in the department, and a couple of writers that were people leaning toward writing. And I think all of that was part of the seed that grew.
David, you're here to receive the PlayMakers Award, and the regional theater business is so important to us, and we're so proud to have PlayMakers here on our campus. You said a little bit about this, but maybe you could both talk a little bit about the regional theaters in America and the ones that are associated with universities and why they're so important to theater in our country.
Well, we've both had extensive experience working in regional theater. I've worked at the Long Wharf in New Haven, the Goodman in Chicago. We both were at the Guthrie in Minneapolis. And the Guthrie, I think, has sort of a connection with the university there. The others are more independent. But that whole idea of regional theater, of serving these communities throughout the country, and in turn, as an actor, being exposed to different communities and what they want, what they need, what they're looking for, what's going on in their world, and how these plays affect them. It's a great development tool as an actor, but it also teaches you a lot about the power of theater and to entertain or to do more than that if you have the opportunity.
Well, and I would say, I mean, in this day and age of everybody going Dancing with the Stars. People just want to be famous. They want to be famous fast. They want to be movie stars. And the thing about regional theater, repertory theater, is it gives you a chance to work and actually become a craftsman instead of just trying to be a star. And I think when you do that, you have a much better base on having a career in the theater or television or in the entertainment industry than just a flash in the pan. There's all this talk about cutting the NEA in Congress right now, cutting everything back to the bone. And it kind of bugs me because these theaters, first off, they need that money. But secondly, I would say if you tracked it, for every dollar spent given to these regional theaters or wherever, the university, PlayMakers, whatever, I would say it generates another $10 to $20, not just in theater tickets and et cetera, because it gives, there's a lot more money raised because the money started. You have that seed money with the government. But you've got your hotels, you've got your restaurants, you've got everything around it. Not to mention when I look at my career and what going out to Indiana Rep or the Guthrie and seeing what I was earning as an actor, that was partly because of the NEA, and then went on to take all that we had learned and took it out to Hollywood and then actually made a really good living out there. You can't ignore the fact that without that seed money, I'm not sure any of that would have happened.
But David, did you start out to be a song and dance person or an actor or both? And how did all of that come together?
I didn't. I thought I was going to be a musician. When I was a little kid, I played the piano, and through high school, I thought my track was I was going to be a concert pianist. And when I went to college, that's what I thought I was going to be. And when I got to college, they said no, that's not going to happen for you. And my parents were very concerned because of the precarious nature of the music business. And so I had the great phone call where I was able to say, well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is I'm not going to be a concert pianist, sigh of relief. And then I said, I am going to be an actor, crash. Although it turned out my dad had real aspirations to be an actor. He ended up doing a lot of community theater and being apparently quite good at it. I never got to see him do that. He stopped doing it before I came along. So there were roots in my family of his dad had done the same thing, of incipient theatricality that I guess came out in me. But and then when I was in college and when I was doing regional theater and stuff, I was mainly not doing musicals at all. It was theater. We were doing comedies, but very much like you guys do here, that palette of Shakespeare and Chekhov and Moliere. Musicals I came to late in life, actually after I had finished all the years on Frasier. It was when I left television, I thought, what haven't I done? And musicals was the thing, and I really wanted to try that. So that's what led me ultimately to go back to that.
And I would say, first off, that you used incipient in a sentence, which was really...
Well,
people at home Googling it right now, what does that mean?
We're speaking to university people. I was trying to
so they know.
Raise the tone.
But I would say that just not to mention the music, just because you didn't use the music per se, you didn't go out and have a career in it. I think it certainly has affected the way you've done your entire career. Mm-hmm. I mean, even in the timing of the comedy, the feeling of how to get the laugh, where the timing of it is, and I think that's very musical.
So what's going on now? Can you each tell us what you're up to now, what your next projects are?
Yeah, I just finished acting in a show on Broadway, and I'm taking a little time off, and then I'm going to direct for the first time. I'm going to direct a new musical. And what are you going to do?
Well, I've written a musical that David might direct.
Yeah,
that's still working that out.
Yeah, no, he's definitely directing. We're actually doing it in the fall, and we've got 2 theaters that want to do it, and also New York producers. And it was funny because David hasn't directed before, and we had this list of, I was sitting with the New York producers, and we had this list of people, people that have directed on Broadway and everything, and he casually mentioned one day, he said, I'd like to try directing, and so many directors, big people, like, Mike Nichols, other people have said, you should try directing, you'd be good at it. And he mentioned it, and they said, yes. His name just went right to the top. So it's, I can't tell you what it's about. Well, it takes place at a wedding, one day at a wedding, and I can't really tell you because it's got so many twists and turns in it, it would ruin the story for you. But just suffice to say that nothing is what it seems, and that's kind of how it works.
Like your average wedding.
It's called It Should Have Been You.
That sounds great. I used to play in a band that played at weddings, so I've seen a lot of these things happen myself.
Oh,
So,
yeah, well, I got to talk to you.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll have to pump
No,
you
seriously,
for
we're
stories.
It's
the
a great idea for a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, we look forward to seeing that, and both of you are such great friends of Carolina, and we're thrilled to have you here, and thanks for stopping by.
It's good to be
All right,
here.
it's
Thanks,
great to be
Holden.
here. Thanks.